Hi, I'm Eric from Universal Nissan. This is my partner Pablo, and today we're going to be showing you guys how we take off a nail from a tire. All right, so what we have here is an example of a tire, and right here you can see where the nail is. In some other cases, you can't really usually see the nail, so what we like to do is like to circle it. Even though if it's visible or not, we still like to just to verify, so that way when the drill goes through, we can see if it's actually there. So now my partner is going to be taking out the nail, and in this case, this one is just a solid screw, and sometimes we would have nails, some flathead screws in, and it's gonna be very difficult to get out, but this one would be easier as if it's right there. All right, so this area is what we call the sidewall, and this area won't be patchable because this part of the tire holds the weight of the vehicle, and it's like the structure point of the tire. And this also flexes due to the fact of like any bumps in the road, any obscurities. But we do patch it here due to the fact that it stays in contact with the road and it's just flat majority of the time. So now my partner is going to demonstrate how we put the patch onto the tire. So what we would usually do first is find an area where we were able to stick the drill in without causing any issues or any damage to the tire. And we would like to enlarge the hole because this part of the patch sticks into the hole and makes sure that there's no air leaking from the tire or anything like that once we put in the new patch. So now what my partner is doing is getting one of the grinders that we have, and what he's going to do is flatten out that area. Because if you don't flatten out the area, what's going to happen is that the patch is going to be unlevel, and it's going to cause some leakage, and it's not going to stick well. So when you're going over a bump or anything like that, it's going to make the patch very easy to come off. And my partner, what he does is that he's supposed to grind the area almost a little bit bigger than the patch, so that way the patch sits all the way down the entire time and doesn't cause so it doesn't sit on any of these ridges that's inside the tire. So now what he's going to do is put on a spray that takes off any residue that's left on, and it's going to make it a smooth surface. Then after that, what he usually does is that he takes off any of the residue and just leaves it onto the spat, so that way it doesn't cause any, once we balance the tire, it doesn't cause any issues, any irregularities. Now he puts on that paste, and that what it does is that it's like a quick cement, and it gives it the patch a better adhesive, so that way it doesn't come off. And that blue thing, the blue paper around, it protects it, so that way like no dirt gets onto the sticky stuff. That protects, that doesn't really protect, but it sticks to the tire. If you get dirt, it won't stick as well. So now what we do is put that metal thing through the hole that he just recently drilled. Then he would pull from the other side, giving it a tight, and he makes sure that there's no air bubbles or anything like that. Okay, now what he uses is the roller, so that way it rolls evenly across the patch, so that way there isn't any air bubbles or any leaks coming out. And what he does is usually goes like around diagonally up and down, so that way it gets like the patch gets fully covered onto the tire. Now he's going to use the razor blade to take off the protective coating, the plastic protective coating. All right, so as you can see, it's all perfectly circled and there's no air bubbles or anything like that. So as a measure, what we do is usually add a bead sealer. So that way it's like a second layer of protection, just to make sure like there isn't any air going through the patch or anything like that. All right, so once that's done, what we usually do is let it sit for between 30 seconds to a minute, so that way it could fully seat down and there's no glue like going around the tire once we balance it. Now what we do is have this, get the razor blade and just cut that off, so that way it doesn't cause any issue to concern to the customer about any vibrations or any bumping once they start driving down the street. Thank you for watching. I'm Eric, and that's my partner Pablo. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.